Good afternoon, everybody. Councillors, thank you. It is 2 o'clock. We can start. Before I start, I will allow for a moment of silence, but before I do start with a moment of silence, I want to request the following, that we keep in our prayers the family of the late Councillor Siyabulele Lwani. It's our first council meeting without him when he was deceased on the 23rd of December. Keep his family and his children in your prayers. I also want you to keep in your prayers Director Polsking, who's currently sick at home. And I want to say thank you to Yulin for standing in for Director Polsking. So I will request that we stand for this to honor the remembrance of Councillor Lwani. Thank you. Thank you. We will now do the safety precautions first. Chief Nolan Lategan, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, all protocol observed, all visitors. First of all, before we start with the business of today, we need to explain the safety protocol for all council chambers, visitors, and council members. Okay. In any case of an emergency, I will do the evacuation from council chambers. Mr. Walters will do the evacuation from with all the visitors at the back. Mr. Walters will take them then to the assembling point, and myself will do the same with the council members inside. For all the visitors, please request Mr. Walters or myself whenever you want to go and visit the bathrooms. We will escort you to the bathrooms and bring you safely back. Thank you.
Thank you, Nolan. Much appreciated. Councillors, before I officially start with the program, we're going to do a special inauguration now. I just want to say welcome to the members in the gallery. The CCC leader, Fadil, has indicated that he will be present, Member of Parliament, but it seems he's running a bit late. So if you do join, I just want to say welcome, Honourable Member, in the audience of the chambers, and also welcome to all the other members in the chambers at the back. Thank you. Councillors, allow me now to start with the procession of inaugurating the newly elected councillor of the Patriotic Alliance, Councillor William Morrison.
Councillor, on behalf of the Saldanha Council, we'd like to ask you to follow us in this affirmation as a member of Council. Council has asked us to do it in Afrikaans, so we'll do it in Afrikaans. Ek bevestig dat ek getrou sal wees aan die Republiek van Suid-Afrika.
Ik bevestig dat ik getrouw zal wees aan de Republiek van Zuid-Afrika.
En dat ik de grondwet en andere wetten van de Republiek zal gehoorzamen.
En dat ik de grondwet en andere wetten van de Republiek zal gehoorzamen.
Ik zal het ook respecteren en handhaven.
Respecteer en handhaven.
En ik bevestig verder. Dat ik die plichten als lid van Saldanha bij Raad.
dat ek die pligte as lid van die Saldanha Baai Raad
tot die beste van my vermoë sal uitvoer.
tot die beste van my vermoë sal uitvoer.
Hartelijk welkom, kanselier. Zoals ik een foto.
Sorry. Ik kan maar teken. Ik kan maar opkijken. Waar kan ik weer tekenen? Daarbij.
Wat die maakt misschien? Ik weet niet meer.
Thank you, Councillor Morrison. Indeed, welcome. You are now officially inaugurated as a council member. Councillor Morrison was has been elected already on the 10th of December because he replaced then the previous councillor Vernon Trachom that has been recalled by his party to do other duties. So, Councillor, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Now we under leave of absence. As you have heard, the director, Volksking, is ill at home. I've got official leave of absence. Councillor Cleopas, I've received his sick note. Councillor Luwanda has official leave of absence. And then Councillor Kuala is running a bit late from a meeting in the ward that I have arranged with Province is attending to a matter in his ward. Thank you, councillors. Then I'm at, sorry, apologies, Chief Whip of the ANC.
Good afternoon, colleagues. As the ANC would love to welcome Councillor Morrison, and we are hoping that we're going to work well together. As you can see that we don't cross borders, now we belong on the other side of the country. And we must continue working well as we're working well with your partner. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chief Whip.
Madam Speaker, I'm in a very awkward position apparently.
Yes, you are. Councillors, then also allow me to welcome the interpreter for today. Is Ms. Nandipa Priscilla Matsitsa. Welcome, ma'am. She will be the official interpreter for today's council meeting. Thank you. I am now at item 4/1, confirmation of the minutes, and 4.5, confirmation of the minutes of the mayoral committee and the special council meeting of the 6th December. Can I have a proposal and a second, please? Executive Deputy Mayor proposed and Councillor America second. Any declaration of interest with regards to matters for this agenda? Councillor? You need
Under
to
item 8, Madam Speaker.
You need to stand.
Under item 8, Madam Speaker.
Item 8. Item 8 is this. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Councillor. It's a section 52D report and I know why I had to declare. Thank you, Councillor. Then we at item 7/1. The first item of the agenda, the special adjustment budget 23-24, the unauthorized expenditure. Is there any questions for clarity or comments before I ask that, because it's an adjustment budget, we need to vote on the item? Councillor Witbooi, welcome. Hoe gaan dit? Is het nog mekaar gezien voor 2025?
Speaker, ik heb één vraag hier op aangeschreven. Als je die recommendations moet gaan, zie ik geen impact report of impact notules op die item.
Thank you. There's another question. Councillor Witbooi, are you finished? You also want to add? You can finish your question.
Ik wil net zeker maar als ik klaar praat, dan gaan interpreter of kan ik.
Yeah, this is a new interpreter. It seems that he can remember a lot, and then normally when he say a sentence, then we translate and then allow him for another sentence. Nanti pasi right?
Sorry, speaker, I didn't get the R. Is it RS7?
R7.
Kan we weer oorgaan?
Item R7, wat is nou op is. My input op daai of my clarity op R7 is daar enige, het was die item of die recommendations, kom het van die impact af of is na my verstaande met die impact notules ook by die agenda wat daar gewees het ten opsigte van die punt?
On the R7, I just wanted to confirm or understand that does it come from the 8th item or does it
Don't be nervous. It's just council. You can do your work. It's fine.
It's you, Marius. Why are you looking
does it come from the item or does it item up?
You should have impact.
Impact.
Thank you. You can continue, councillor.
In die recommendations sien ek die impact report hier. Ek wil die speaker vra, is dit moontlik dat die impact chairperson vir ons of die municipal manager of die self aan my aanbeveling is dat die impact chairperson vir ons 'n back report gee of die item bespreek is binne die impact, hulle laaste impact meeting.
I just want to ask the councillor to give me time. Give me session when I raise my hand when I don't get it. I just want to ask from the councillors. Will you have a yet medical councillors but what will you get?
No. The MM must assist. MM.
Speaker,
It's Nandipa, it's alright.
Speaker, can I ask the impact chairperson to give us feedback if this point, that item was discussed in this last impact meeting?
That's the second part of your question.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Director Baliswana, your hand was first. Oh, not your hand. Okay. MM.
Thank you, Speaker. I think Councillor suggested that the chairperson goes first, and I will go after that.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you so much for that, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon, Madam Speaker, Executive Mayor, Deputy Mayor, colleagues, all our viewers and our viewers in the gallery or observe. I am pleased with the fact that Speaker allowed me to go first because with regards to my feedback, I will also at the same time have a question that I would also like to pose to the MM. So to answer my colleague, Mr. Witbooi, yes, this report was seated at impact. It was seated at impact twice, okay? In the first occasion, the impact was not happy with the way in which the report was given to impact, and the impact has concluded that the report should be referred back so that the report can come back to us in further detail, okay? I can further confirm that, and here also maybe I will get some clarity from the MM. On page number 10, it indicates that the Municipal Public Account Committee have also considered the item during 2 meetings that was held, and that we said it should be referred to council. That is not correct. The Impact Committee has decided that they were not happy with the report, and we did not go and accept the report for what it was. I'm not quite sure if when the impact doesn't accept the report, if it automatically then just gets defaulted and sent to council for an approval. So to answer your question on that, it was there. And I can also confirm that the impact's findings was as follows. The impact resolved that there was negligence on the part of officials, hence they did not want to cite us for what it was before us. Okay? And then, Madam Speaker, as a point of clarity, I would just like to ask on page 10, point number 3.2. It indicates there that in terms of regulation 23(6)(b) of the MBRR, council may only authorize unauthorized expenditure as anticipated by section 3.2 in a special adjustment budget table in council when the mayor tables his annual report. So the question I have here is, I see that in this agendas for today we have the drafted budget, or rather the drafted annual report before us. If I understand correctly, legislatively, we should not have this adjustment budget placed before us because it is not being tabled alongside our annual report. If I could just get some clarity on that as well, please. Thank you so much.
No, you should just read the minutes of the meeting because nobody's ready. In Michael's meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, there is a misunderstanding in terms of what we recorded in the minutes. The minutes was sent to you. It did state that you said that there is some human error. It did state that, and it's in the Mako minutes. We brought it into the Mako minutes. We spoke to the Mako and explained to the Mako this is what the impact has said. We also explained to the Mako that the impact made the assessment based upon not knowing all, not taking into account all the information. But if you look at the item that is in front of you, we are asking here for the approval of an unauthorized expenditure in the budget. And in terms of section 32, it states that you can do it either or. We have also taken it to you for transparency. But if you look at what the recommendations in the impact report, it was never for the impact to write off anything. It was for the impact. It was to inform the impact, but also that the recommendation specifically spoke to that it goes to council for an adjustment budget. If you read on page 9, it says you exactly what section 32 says, but that was also in the report. The item that was in front of the impact, that was also in the report, which basically states that which states what I just said. If council want me to give clarity onto the items that was referred back, I can explain what council wants. If there's any questions around there.
Thank you. Councillor Morrison.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Greetings to everyone. Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Madam Speaker, all protocols observed, and to all my colleagues sitting around the table. Madam Speaker, item 7, and I just want to tie into what my two colleagues have already raised. And I just want to clarify this. Section 32 of the MFMA, right? Nowhere is there a report from MPIC certifying the unauthorized, the UIFW. In terms of regulation 23, subsection 6, subsection B of the MBRR, council may only authorize unauthorized expenditure as anticipated by section 32, subsection 2, subsection A, subsection 1, in a special adjustment budget table. In council, when the mayor tables the annual report in terms of section 127, subsection 2 of the MFMA, in the agenda I only see an item 11, which is a draft annual report, whereby under point 3.2 the law is clear. And then I just further want to state that, just give me a second. The Patriotic Alliance stands firmly against the wasteful and unauthorized expenditure of 2.5 million in taxpayers' money. We do not condone any form of mismanagement or misuse of public funds, especially when such actions erode the trust of Saldanha Municipality people. It is concerning that despite the investigation into these financial irregularities, an 11% salary increase has been awarded to the department head who was directly involved in the mismanagement of these funds. This move...
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
What is your point of order? Councillor Loftus.
40.1 relevance, Madam Speaker. The councillor is speaking on an item that is not relevant to this topic.
Thank you. Councillor, you cannot quote that sentence. Please delete that last sentence that he quoted. Thank you.
Okay, noted, Madam Speaker. This moves and raises serious questions about accountability and transparency and the commitment to ethical governance. The Patriotic Alliance believes that those who are entrusted with the responsibility of managing public resources should be held to the highest standards of integrity, and that any form of financial mismanagement should be addressed swiftly and decisively. We call...
Thank you, Councillor. Your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Executive Mayor, your hand was up, and then Councillor Teresa Rousseau.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, thank you for the comments. It shows that everybody in council is concerned about money. Madam Speaker, to just read minutes will not answer this. This is a 63-page explanation. If you go and look at all the attachments, it's available to all of us, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this type of item is not new. We've done it many times in council. Madam Speaker, there is 3 ways that the CFO could have handled this. He could have done a veriment and it wouldn't have come to us. He can send the item to impact for noting purposes, not for investigation. And it ultimately comes to council to decide. He did that for transparency. He could have just done a veriment and we wouldn't even be able to. So, Madam Speaker, if I want to be skeller, if I want to hide something, why the heck would I send it to 2 different bodies of council and tell them this is what I've done? If you go and look and you study the facts of this, you will see the EPWP was covered by savings in that department. A service delivery department, Madam Speaker. Are we to say now that in the period of transferring EPWP, for 2 months we should stop doing service to our communities? Should we stop cleaning? Should we stop the safety personnel that help? Should we stop sanitation? There was prudent action taken. And if you go and read the items, you'll see that more than 2.5 million was blocked off by that department. The director is not here. Through you, I want to thank him because they spend 99% of their budget every year in service delivery. So that's the one point that I want to make, Madam Speaker. Secondly, we have grown from 111,000 people to 164,000 people. We, as councillors, shout every time, we want better service delivery. We want more done. I want for Ward 5 more law enforcement at the PIF when everybody goes yesterday to go and swim. But on the other hand, we say to council, don't spend money. Don't make a plan to service our people. This was all done within the confines of the law. What we're going to the CFO now, we're asking him, why are you being so transparent that you give it to
Point of order,
impact?
Point of order.
Councillor, but for your point of order?
My point of order is that input is not relevant of law enforcement.
Must quote the
members.
Act, Councillor.
46.
Everything is relevant.
14, sorry, Speaker.
Councillor, Mr. Mayor, 15 does not relate to relevance, so you quoted the wrong one, but the Mayor may
40.
continue. 14
Thank
also
you.
not. 14 is quorum. 40. Thank you, Councillor. But the Mayor quoted the correct thing because he's still speaking on the item. It's included in the item. Mr. Mayor, you may continue.
Thank you, Madam
Your time
Speaker.
is almost up.
I'm
You've
going
got
to
1 minute
finish off
left.
by saying, to apply your mind, go and have a look what was done, go and read all 63 pages, and you will find that this action was beyond reproach. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Rousseau's hand was first. And Chief Whip, you want to go first? Chief Whip?
You must not propose it.
I will sit down.
No, Speaker, what I wanted to speak of, according to the Municipal Finance Management Act 56 of 2003, it says here, Speaker, it's speaking about unauthorized and irregular, fruitless, wasteful expenditure. A political office bearer of a municipality is liable for unauthorized expenditure if that office bearer knowingly or after having been advised by the accounting officer of the municipality that the expenditure is likely to result in unauthorized expenditure. Now, Speaker, the chairperson of the MPEC has indicated to us that there were findings from the MPEC that there was fruitful expenditure. Now, as the ANC, we want to ask the Speaker, yeah, it's still new year, relax, we're going to get to the gear. So meaning as the ANC Speaker, seeing that the
Sorry, Cecilia.
fruitless
Councillors,
expenditure,
please allow the councillors who's on the feet. Thank you.
seeing that it was identified, Speaker, by the accounting officer, as the ANC, we want to ask, is there anyone that was held accountable? Because seeing that now the mayor has just now indicated that we are all worried about money because everyone works hard for money. Now we want to find out if there's anyone that was held accountable for this fruitless expenditure, because we can't be starting on a wrong foot. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you for the question for clarity. Councillor, so you want to go first before the responds?
Thank you, Madam. Madam Speaker, welcome to the new year, all of the directors. Oh, sorry, I thought my voice carries. Madam Speaker, all the directors, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and all my colleagues. It's wonderful to see you guys again. I survived, I'm back, I'm going nowhere. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful new year. But today, I've got a lot of questions. First of all, it's the ANC. I have a question. The impact, and we're going to go back to the impact again. According to the impact chair, the EMT and the were informed of the shortfall, and there were no preventative measures. Now, I want to ask a question. This is question number 1. CFO, through you, Speaker. This over expenditure falls in 23 and 24's budget, right? So that budget year ended on the 30th of June, am I right? And the 1st of July of 2024 we came to a new year. As I remember, at that stage we had a meeting and we discussed the budget and we tabled things. Why was that not brought to us then? That's my first question. We're informed of the second question. And there were no in the beginning of this report, now I want to you are stating question number 1 that it is the EPWP budget that was overspent. This the mayor just said earlier falls in quoting him that it was for 2 months budget, right? So that budget question number 3 on the 30th. We have an amount of 275 July of 2024 going to the new year, right? And different sectors in this municipality. We had a meeting. If we say that nice little 2.6 million overexpenditure, unauthorized expenditure, comes because of the budget. I have a question for you. Maybe my math is in the beginning of this report. You received a grant from the EPWP of 2.125 million, right? For your annual budget. So if you're telling me that 2.6 million was classified as unauthorized, you bring it in EPWP. If I subtract what you got from the grant and what you say you overspent, you overspent on 475, right? So my question to you is this. What is one person we say in the EPWP project that works and gets 130 rand a day? What is their annual income from this project? Multiplied by the 275 people, you receive, you tell me that equates to your own expenditure. That's question number 3, right? Question number 4. So if you're telling me that 2.6 million was classified, I like to, this is just the new year that's done, right? It's not functioning. Quickly, I'm getting to the next one. We overspent on 470. I would like to understand, so my question to you is this, how this happened last year. Now, you did not bring that to us as an emergency to bring the over expenditure, to bring it to an adjustment budget, when we brought the adjustment budget to you the last time. When we tabled the adjustment budget, I can't remember the date. If the impact chair, could you assist with that? Or the CFO, if you could assist when we brought the last adjustment budget, when we tabled the last adjustment budget. My brain is full. I would like to understand why this was not tabled then. If you could explain it to me so that I can understand. Then I would like to understand one other thing. You said earlier that you took the money from savings from a department, right? But is it not true that according to that report, that money was not just used for the EPWP, but for other things like overtime, etc.? So you need to clarify for me, was it just the EPWP that was overspent?
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Of
time is up. Thank
it's
you.
relevant to the item.
Thank
Councillor
you.
Nkuna. Thank you.
The municipal manager will respond to all the questions raised so far and give clarity on all the matters. And Mr. Municipal Manager, you must explain that I can also understand, because I understand what I read, but now.
Thank you, yes, Speaker. I will do that, Speaker. Thank you very much, Speaker. When we brought this item to the impact, we calculated and showed in a table what was the amount and where to what divisions it was added. So there was things like losses of disposable assets, interest expenditure, depreciation. There was things like actuarial or other losses that was there, and those amounted to, of the 2.5 million rand of over expenditure, amounted to 1.7 million. Or 1.7 million, and those are all things that is out of the control of the department. It is so it gets calculated by an actuary at the end of the financial year to be added to the annual financial statements. So the department has absolutely no control over that. So in other words, if you take the 1.74 million and you subtract the 2.5 million, you will find about 831 million. And
831,000.
Yeah, you are right.
You've got a lot of money suddenly.
You get about 831,000 rand left. That is ascribed to over expenditure on the employment costs. On the employment costs. Yes. No, not EPWP. The question of EPWP was raised because there was an over expenditure on the line. Now you must understand that the line item is under the vote, right? So we've got hundreds of line items under that one vote. So there was an over expenditure of 2.495 million on the line item. There was an over expenditure. We do not dispute that at all. But what was in the item and which was not looked at and which was not even interrogated was the fact that this department went to the finance division and said, listen here, we need 3 million, because that was the report that came to EMT and the MM. There was a report that came, and that's why point number 4 was there, that says that the MM and the EMT did not ignore it. That report came to the MM and said, listen here, we need 3 million rand if we should go on doing EPWP at using 284 people. So the first thing that was said to them was, listen here, you cannot use 284, you need to come down and use less. That's the department did that. Then the department went to the finance department, they went to the finance department, and it is in the report. Annexure 1 of the, I don't know what the pages of the report on the 19th of November. It stated, and it was confirmed by the financial department, that we need to block strings that we think we can, that's either savings or that we think we cannot use. That amount was amounted to 2.51 million. So those strings were blocked. So in other words, the over expenditure was carefully, on EPWP was carefully monitored to not go over 2.5 million. So in other words, just to make an example to you, if those strings were not blocked and EPWP was stopped and we spent that money, we would be in the same position. So EPWP is, to tell the truth, has been covered by the blocking on our system, so we could not spend on that votes to the amount of 2.5 million. So that was taken out. So, coming back to what the mayor explained, That 881,000 rand, thousand rand was due to over expenditure, and that was also mentioned in the report, which was not taken cognizance of. That the town is growing, that overtime is excessive, and that standby was done. That was written in the report. It's not, I'm not making it up. It was written in the report. Now there was not a full definition as to exactly where this was overspent. That was not it. But it was over expenditure, so it was not related necessarily to EPWP because there was a blockage to that amount. And in fact, when you look at it, 55.990 thousand rand. Well, they were spent 55.990, 55,990 rand, less than what they have blocked on the system. So the problem here is that the EPWP is now confused with the over expenditure, and that's not the truth. There was cost that was outside of our control.
The accuracy.
Yeah, those kind of stuff. And that was mentioned, but it was not taken into account.
You didn't clarify why it only comes now. You must explain.
Right. I'm on the road. So that was the preventative measure. So that was the preventative measure. I've got so much respect for the councillors. I don't want to say anything against anything. So just to tell you with regard to the time. Remember, this was in the last financial year. August we came to you for adjustment budget, but the audit was not yet finished.
Okay.
So that's why it's brought to the adjustment budget now, and it must be brought to the adjustment before the annual report. So now we're starting on our process of the annual report, which is going to be now today, draft, and 2 months later we're bringing the final MM report. So it needs to be all brought in to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Municipal Manager. Before your follow-up, let me honor Councillor Tyron Williams. Welcome, sir, of the state of Langville. The losing Langville rugby team. You're welcome.
Next time I will keep on my rugby clothes. Good afternoon, everyone. Speaker. Speaker, just one thing. Thank you for the explanation, MM and Executive Mayor. Can we have that report before us, please, Speaker, so that we can also read through it and have an understanding. And then the other thing that worries me, Speaker, is that this financial year, the AG give SPM a clean audit without findings. But here we sit with an unauthorized expenditure. Can someone please explain to me that? Thank you, Minister.
That's exactly why the report is here, because the AG read through it and he already found now the municipality must rectify it within the adjustment budget. But the MM can clearly say why.
Yeah.
MM?
So basically the AG did not find any irregularity. We're just setting it right as per the AG's suggestion.
Thank you. Councillor Rasoos, your follow-up from the ANC?
Oh, I like it when you smile. I was going to say why, but I'll keep that for another day because I might sound sarcastic. So the AG gave us a clear audit, right? And then he referred it back to you, stating that there's something that's not okay with this now, right? But the mayor did not mention that when he told us in our last meeting when he said we're so congratulated because we have a clean audit again. Then you did not mention to us that you had this huge irregular expenditure on the clean audit. Should we go to the minutes of that meeting? It was not mentioned, and neither did you, MM. No. Shrugging your shoulders is not going to work, MM. You are responsible for this municipality as the chief financial officer above Stefan. So it is your duty to report to us in that council meeting when the mayor said that we have this clean audit, that oops, we actually have a problem. We had this irregular expenditure not so long after. Now I'm probably going to sound very stupid again when I ask this again. Why only today? It doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Councillor.
Can we be protected from the other side? because we're not in a classroom, colleagues. We're grown-ups, eh?
Thank
Councillors,
you, councillors.
when we speak, we don't
Come here, Mike.
Councillors, thank you.
Your point.
Can I
Madam
have
Speaker?
Councillor Morrison's hand was first?
Madam
Speaker.
Apologies, your hand was probably too low.
Councillor Skeppers.
Councillor Skeppers, his hand was first. Apologies, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, can we request a 5-minute caucus, please?
Yes.
Opposition caucus.
Opposition caucus.
The official opposition, are you included? Because the official opposition is the ANC. They want a caucus. Thank you.
Full opposition caucus.
Can you pause the live streaming? Thank you.
A broader.
Caucus
A
granted
broader
for
caucus,
5
yes.
minutes.
We are the official.
Councillor Morrison.
Dank u, Madam Speaker. Ik ga nu precies kan ons alsjeblieft die report, die impact report met minutes, alsjeblieft kry, Madam Speaker. Dat is uiterst belangrijk voor ons, dat ons het weet.
Can we please have the impact report of the minutes? It's very important.
Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would just like to ask again that the question wasn't answered with regards to the regulations of the MBRR that stipulates that the adjustment budget must be tabled with the actual annual budget and not the draft annual budget. Can you please just have some clarity with regards to that legislation?
Thank you. Executive Mayor.
Madam Speaker, a couple of points. First of all, the MM did answer that point of why it's, but maybe you can do it again with the CFO. Madam Speaker, I just want to point out a couple of things that were stated maybe in error. Councillor Rousseau, the two amounts does not give a shortfall. If you look at the two amounts, it's the shortfall was 2,495,632. The amount saved was 2,551,662. So they actually had a buffer of 56,030 rand. So, and then the second point, Madam Speaker, we have to be very clear of the message that we send to our public. This is a live meeting. I want to reject the comment that we hid something from council with the content that it deserves. We had a clear audit with no findings. Let that be stated. And in fact, I didn't declare it. The charming deputy mayor, in my absence, declared. This is a thing that will be audited in next year's audit. The steps that we're taking now is to make it legal. There is nothing different to what we've done in the past. So the first step is you write to the MEC. The law then says that's law. So that was done. The second step says you must bring it to the January meeting for council to vote on it. Also the point that it said that in the Maker minutes, it says very clearly that Stefan Foster, Director Stefan Foster, if you look on page 5 of the Maker committee meeting, it says, Mr. S. Foster explained that the EPWP budget was constrained during the latter part of the financial year. DCOS engaged with the budget office for advice on potential saving, where after the budget office provided a list of possible savings to the value of 2.5 million, but it was actually 2.551. So we over these line items to prevent further expenditure on it. So the statement that was made that nothing was done, that the problem was reported and nothing was done, is simply not true when you go and read the supporting evidence. And I suggest that everybody go and read it. Madam Speaker, this is an item that we must vote on, and I ask that we please move over and vote on this. We've exhausted this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Councillor Rousseau's hand was first, and then the municipal manager will respond to the clarity question.
Madam Speaker, two things. Firstly, somehow in the air there's this tension now and there's this animosity feeling. First of all, we are here as an opposition or as councillors to ensure that this municipality uses the taxpayers' money correctly and that we service the people. We are not here as friends and enemies, we are here as councillors. So please let us not become agitated and personal in regards to questions raised by councillors. That is just not on. Let us remember that if you were on this side of the table, you would ask the same questions. I pray to God so, that you would ask and raise the same questions if it did not make sense to you. That's number one. Number two, I'm utterly confused now. And I'm seriously starting to think maybe I've got a fever, that I'm so confused, but I do not understand how we have, and I need to correct this please to the ladies taking the minutes. Previously myself and Councillor Kumani, our chief whip of the ANC, she said irregular expenditure, and I can't exactly remember what I said, but it was unauthorized, so that please be noted. Secondly, I'm very confused now, and CFO, you please need to explain it to me somehow, and also the MF. If you had stopped everything and you saved an amount of 2.5 something, right, Mayor, through you, Speaker, then why do we still have the unauthorized expenditure if you saved? And we now have to, by all means, I'm sure this is going to happen, we're going to want to write off this 2.5. You're not going to write it off? What is going to happen to it?
It's a corrective measure, it's a journal.
You're going to adjust the budget?
Journal.
Okay, but I still want to understand how, if there was a saving for that amount, which is more than the amount that was needed and overspent, then why do we still have the over expenditure? Just pretend I'm a grade 1 learner and I really don't understand math well, and I would really appreciate it. But that is my question. And then lastly, this is going to be a long year. So let us please always remember that you grown-ups, we grown-ups, and that we are all equal, except for those dressed in the red. Let us please treat each other as adults. We just buried one of our colleagues. Life is short. Life sucks at times. So let us please behave appropriately. This is not personal. If I was wearing the red, Mayor, I promise you, you would be down my throat daily. That's what happens all over South Africa. So let us do this right. Thank you.
Councillor Williams, and then the municipal manager will respond, and then we will go over to vote. Thank you. Councillor Williams?
Speaker, just one question.
Yes.
When can we have this report? Because I've asked this question and no one answered me. Please, Madam Speaker, I want to know, can we have this report so that we can read through it and have a better understanding? Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Williams. The municipal manager will now respond, and then we will vote on the item.
Thank you, Speaker. Just with regard to Councillor Jackson's request in terms of clarification, we unfortunately, or to the lingo that local government use, we call it a draft annual report, but it's actually the table annual report. It's got to go through a process of public participation, and then through the MPEC and through their processes, it then gets oversight committee, it then gets accepted by council as the final report. So this is the tabled report that is in March. So this is the tabled report. We just like to call it a draft report because we know there can be changes to that specific report. So just to get that right. With regard to the overexpenditure, Councillor So, as I explained earlier, 1.74 million of that over expenditure was outside of the control of the department through the grant process and so forth. They actually measured that at the end of the year, and that's why we got to that. So 831,000 rand was with regard to, and that is ascribed to employee-related costs, which includes overtime, it includes standby, it includes salaries of people, because people get tasked during the year. It includes a lot of, there's a lot of strings under that. So that was overspent to the amount of and 31,000 in the total vote. So that's where we got to that number at the end of the day.
Speaker.
Thank you, councillors. Councillor, I said we're going to vote. You didn't explain about. She asked about the minutes of the impact. The impact report.
No, Speaker.
Yeah, the reason why the impact report was not sent through is because it's not been yet. There was not a. Remember, it needs to be approved
By the
at
impact.
the next meeting. So we need to organize a quick meeting for you so that we can approve that specific minutes and forward it to all the people, with all of the people. All 63 pages. That is available for you. That's why there was not a confirmation in impact after that.
Speaker, can I have a follow-up?
Speaker.
Can I have a follow-up, please?
Follow up by Councillor Williams. Thank you.
Speaker, if that is the case, then why is the item here today for us to approve it? If we must still wait for impact to approve the report and my report that I was requesting, then why is this item here today?
Councillor, the impact minutes and the report was for impact to note the report. They gave it to the impact for clarification and transparency. It's not a decision-making report, it's for notification. The actual report should have only come to council. But because the CFO, you must know him, hy is due diligence verby, en dan maak my baie keer kwaad want hy wil nie geld spend nie. So that's why he sent it to the impact for notification, for clarification and transparency. It must come to council. Only council can approve an adjustment budget to rectify the over expenditure within the DCOST department. You will note that it's within the DCOST department as a whole. Chief Whip, I'm going to give you a last chance and then we're going to vote on the item. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. If you remember, I once said a year ago, the thing that is going to give you pressure is playing the referee and the player. Now, I asked a question when I was speaking earlier on. Is there anyone that has been found to account? I understand everything that everyone has said, but someone needs to account for the unauthorized expenditure. And also, we have not responded to what Councillor Williams is saying. Can we get the report? Simple as that, and thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, can we vote, please? Against the item, can the Chief Whips indicate if they are against it? Chief Whip of the ANC? Against? Can you raise your hands, please? Thank you. Councillor, so I assume that you're in agreement. Councillor Lelet? How many? Jack?
Is that again?
Councillor Bakoy, they can't see your hand.
7, 8, 9, 10.
For approval of the adjustment budget?
Oh, yes.
Administration, the totals, please.
Speaker, against the special adjustment budget is 10. For the special adjustment budget is 14.
Yes.
Thank you. The item is then carried. Thank you. Councillors, then we at the next item. Item 8, the Section 52D reports, mid-year budget and performance assessment for the 6 months ending at the 31st of December. Can I have questions? Councillor Morrison, your hand was first.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to know, do I need to elaborate on the fact that I'm part of that item or not?
No.
So it's fine.
You must leave the chambers. Thank you. You can quietly leave the chambers. We will call you back in again. Thank you. Councillor Williams, you can leave everything there. It's fine.
Speaker,
Sorry, Madam Speaker, just clarification quickly. There's just one line of the item, but I also need to speak on the item.
No, you're not allowed. You've got interest.
Speaker, just a question for clarity. The declaration of interest. There's two councillors implicated here. Only one declaration. Now. How are we gonna deal with that now?
Municipal manager will respond.
Okay, in my view, the other councillor must also leave the chambers.
And should be declared as well.
Section 52D. Councillors in arrears.
Speaker, the council don't declare.
He did not declare. We will deal with that after the fact according to the rules.
Yes.
Thank you.
So you must take a decision, Speaker, not the municipal manager or the CFO.
No, I wanted somebody else to give clarity. Thank you, Councillor, but wait, don't question my ruling. Councillor Coetzee?
Madam Speaker, just give me an indication on the page. It's outstanding.
Page 68. 9.7. Councillors in arrears.
Remember, there's no names.
There's no names.
Yes. So the previous councillor recused and declared his interest.
Madam Speaker, yes, if it refers to me, I declare my conflict of interest. It's an oversight from my side. But although I want to put it on the record here, that's been challenged and it will be challenged legally.
Councillor is currently in the. So can you please leave the chambers? Thank you.
I just wanted to put it on the record that it will be challenged.
Speaker, asking to leave the chambers, please.
I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Councillors, thank you. Please also take note. It is in the report, but there is also the disciplinary committee is already dealing with it and my office, so it's still in sub judice also because we're following another process with councillors. Thank you. Whose hand was up first? Councillor Jackson's hand was first.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. At least this time around, I'm not here to fight. I just have a point for clarity. On page 67,
Yes.
okay, as I've previously raised the concern here too, the amount of accounts being sent out, municipal accounts being sent out, is way more than the actual amount of meters that are there. So the question I have is, how are the properties being built who do not have meters? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The CFO will be able to explain that. Councillor, so?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sure, Madam Speaker. This is actually it's actually falling under item 11, but it also is in item 8 in regards to the water. The ANC has the same question, that there are more bills going out on accounts being sent as though there are water meters. Secondly, we have companies that are owing tremendous amounts. And somewhere in that report of the recommendations, the mayor said that those must be written off because we're not going to get that money. Mayor, no. We must fight. Yes, it's written in the report and the recommendations. My brain is moeg.
Rephrase it, please.
Page 114.
114.
Yeah, 21.22% water losses. Yes. I'm not picking on you, Mayor.
That's water losses.
Yes, water losses. Now, we cannot, under any circumstance, be so eager to write off a state department that owes us so much money, accounts, that we're not going to get it. We've got to fight to get that. If we are as eager to write off the poor people's losses or the poor people's accounts that cannot afford, I would be rejoicing. But not the State Department that has the means to pay and must pay, and it's not just one. Public Works Department,
Madam,
is one of them. Thank you, ma'am.
Your point of order, Mr. Mayor.
Madam, I want to speak at the contents of that item that was said. I want to state it for the record.
You didn't quote your point of order.
Your point of order, ma'am.
Your point of order. Let me just go into my laptop.
Must I read
Yes, you must quote it. Otherwise, you must sit down.
40.1?
40.1.
Subject at hand, Madam. I want
you.
to clarify the subject at hand. Madam Speaker, I never said that state departments must be written off. The Mako minutes is read, as I even offered to intercede politically if state departments do not pay their money. What I did ask to be written off is interest. No state departments pay interest because that amounts to fruitful and wasteful expenditure. So, Councillor Rousseau, I did not say that in the context of government, sorry, Speaker, I'm speaking to you. I did not say that it must be written off. In fact, I said quite the opposite. And if you're going to interrogate it, province is current, national has got empty tracts of land, and I've asked for an appointment with Minister Dean McPherson, which I'm waiting for a date. But what I have asked is every year, the interest is rolled over, and we look bad when we've got this huge outstanding debt, but a large percentage of that is interest, Councillor.
Yes.
I asked for the interest to be written off.
Yes.
Thank you, just on a point of clarity.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Any other points of clarity on the item? Councillor Williams.
Speaker, thank you very much. Once again, page 68, Speaker. 9.7. Speaker, I know that you said there is a disciplinary in place, but the code of conduct of councillors, Speaker, is very clear. If you are in arrears, you must be removed. And this item is not the first time here today. This specific one. It's not the first time here today, Speaker. So we really need to deal with this decisively. Because if it was one of us, Speaker, we would have been gone without hesitation. So please, Speaker, I'm asking you very nicely to deal with this specific councillor. And on page 75, Speaker.
75. You have a good tip? Employee information.
Yes, Speaker. There is currently 99 funded vacant positions. It is budgeted for. Right? Fixed term contracts, 45. Temporary workers, 15. What is the plan of the municipality to appoint people? Because, and I'm going to speak about Saldanha by quickly. We are expanding every day, and that workers is working in difficult conditions. But still we have this 99 funded vacancies that is not been filled. So can we please speed up?
Apologies, Councillor Morrison, you can't enter. We will call you back.
So Speaker, can we please speed up the process? Because our people is suffering outside. And as the Mayor said, we are one of the best municipalities in the country if it comes to service delivery and all that kind of stuff. But if you look outside, it looks bad, honestly speaking. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Williams. Councillor Williams, with regards to the Code of Conduct for Councillors, my office deals with it, and I must follow the process. Because, and you should know how to follow what process I follow, because I must be fair and give the person a chance. So, and the one matter is already with the disciplinary committee, and that's why I said it is being dealt with. It's unfortunate, but it is here, and it is being dealt with. The municipal manager will respond with regards to the question of page 75, or will direct them Baliswana, MM? The MM will respond on the...
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, we as an EMT have sat down with these 99 positions. We can confirm that the biggest part of these positions are already in process, so there is actions. with regard to that, and we hope to fill those positions ASAP. I actually wanted them to fill those positions ASAP. We will make sure that these are filled. We will fast track this.
Thank you, Municipal Manager. Councillor Russell, last person on this item for clarity.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to ask a question. I'm being difficult today. I see the colleagues on the other side are thinking we're going to ride over her. I've got a question and it's concerning me a lot. The other councillor that is now in the disciplinary process that owes quite a large amount, I would like to understand. Question one, is his services disconnected? Is his water on drip? Does he not get electricity? That's a question I want, because I want an answer for that. Because if it was...
Just the following. I've already explained that there's already a process being followed.
But
so
is
now,
that not relevant to this, to him?
Councillor, that process is at the committee. So that's why there's only that information in there, because council must know about it. So the detail of everything else,
yes,
we can't share in the report. That's why it's only not even the name is being mentioned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I understand that.
Thank you. Councillor Badboy?
Laat sy 58
5-8.
Accounting officer. Speaker, my bekommernis is, as jy kyk vir die eerste 6 maande, is 20% van die budget gespandeer.
Page 85, Speaker, my worry is the
20% of the budget.
Only 20% of the budget has been spent. Is that right?
Only 25% of the budget.
Yes.
Kan ek beantwoord?
Ja, jy kan maar voortgaan, raadslid.
Is 20%, daar is 80% wat nog gespend moet raak. En ek wil nie met daarvoor skoning...
80% dat we spend it.
En ons wil nie met daarvoor skoning sê dat daar is requisities uitgeskrywe en sovoorts wat die presentasie gaan opbring na 30% toe.
I don't want error then we have ones that the percentage is spending.
En dit baat die ons gaan sekere materiale aankoop en gaan wegstuur.
It doesn't matter if we can spend or buy or spend other materials.
Om die percentage op te bring.
Or for the percentage to be raised up.
As ons kyk, dan as ons die presentasie 40% kon opgebring het, hoeveel werksgeleenthede kan ons geskep het?
If we increase the percentage,
Maar ons gemeenskap is samen daar buiten.
because the community is suffering outside there.
So speaker van Goedse kant, dan was ons pleidooi dat daar rechter daadwerkelijk gekyk moet raak en ambtenaren aangespreek moet worden, dat die spending moet opgaan.
Sorry, Councillor, can you repeat it?
Speaker van Goedse kant, Goedpartyse kant, is ons aanbevelen dat dat daadwerkelijk
From the good parties.
Our recommendation from the good party is that the spending must go up in the last 6 months, speedily. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Bitboy. Apologies for the problems with the translations. It seems the person you're not very audible when you speak. Executive Mayor, your hand was up and then we will conclude on the item. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, just for the record, you guessed right. If you look at the contracts that's awarded, it's standing 31%. Madam Speaker, this is 34%. Madam Speaker, this municipality has always abided by the supply chain process. All of us would like things to happen tomorrow. But if we push out of that process, we're outside the law. We've had our discussion here that we should obey the law. So this is the first part of it. You're absolutely correct. What you're wanting will happen. The second half, it will go up. I also want to point out for the record, Madam Speaker, if you're actually going to interrogate the spending, it's the biggest amount that we've spent than before to date at the moment. So one thing that this council is constantly, of our administration is guilty of, is that they aim high. They try and put too many projects on because they're trying to rush up service delivery. We've asked them to draw that back a bit and to spread it out a bit more, but we're also conscious that we cannot fall behind on infrastructure development. So yes, I share your concern, Councillor Witbooi, and thank you for those comments, but we are standing at 34% when you look what's awarded, and every day new ones awarded. If you look at what isn't at supply chain yet, is things like housing, which we've got no control over. And through the maker, we've asked for every other contract that is not yet at supply chain to be seen. Why? And if correction must be taken, correction action, then it must be taken. So rest assured, we are looking at it. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Can I have a proposal and a secondment to adopt this item? Councillor Mamabola proposed, secondment. Thank you, Alderman Kuhn, seconded. Item unanimously adopted. Then I am at item 9/1, the human resource policies, which has...
Call them back.
Oh, apologies. Councillor Coates and Councillor Morrison, you are free to come in again, thank you. I see, maybe they were smoking because now the security officer is calling them back. They were standing in the sun. No, they don't smoke. Councillor Coates don't smoke.
Are you done?
I see the friendship between Councillor Williams and Alderman Kuhn is still on the same level.
No picture.
Will be the last debate speaker.
Is it? Okay, thank you. Welcome back, Councillor Coates and Councillor Morrison. We can continue now to item 9/1. This is the human resource policies, which was that has followed the administrative route within the LLF committee. So all the units and all the council representatives present has not indicated that it should not be tabled here today. Can I have a proposal and a secondment on the adopting the policies? Councillor Soy, are you proposing? Thank you. Secondment. Thank you, Alderman Vaughan. Thank you for that. The item is unanimously adopted. Then item 10, the section 116 report. This is an administrative process that we must conclude in order to deliver the service and continue the service. Councillor Jackson.
I would like to be the first to propose.
Thank you for the proposal, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Morrison, you second?
I just want to say something on this item.
Okay, you may go ahead, yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to add on item 10. Patriotic Alliance acknowledges and agrees with the extension of the SPCA tender, but we must highlight a critical issue that cannot be ignored. It is deeply concerning that the coalition partners and the Democratic Alliance and its coalition partners continue to allow officials to neglect proper tender control processes. As a result, we find ourselves in a situation where the tender must be extended at an additional cost of 84,000 rand.
Point of order, ma'am.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Councillor, you need to sit. What's your point of order, Mr. Mayor? Executive Mayor.
Madam Speaker, point 40.1 relevance. The tender only runs out the end of June. The tender is not extended. Please read the item properly. The tender only runs out the end of June. In the new financial year in July, that's when it will go out to tender, and it will be this. If you read the item, you'll see why it is here today. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you for the clarity. Councillor Morrison.
Madam Speaker, according to what I have read and understand is that this current tender has already expired and there's no new tender currently in place.
Thank you, Councillor. Director Mbaliswana, can you give clarity?
All right, thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, the tender, when we were running a new tender process, last year already we realized that because of the period of the tender, the process will run beyond the expiry date of the current tender. It's correct to say then the tender was extended in terms of section 116 by council already. The only thing that we're doing that when we're negotiating with the service provider was the issue, because remember the tender expired on 30th of June 2024. So the issue was about the money, which is exactly what we're saying to say we had to negotiate, because remember it's a new tender period. So all what we're moving to council is that there's an increase in terms of the money. The current tender expired and we did section 116 already. Council approved section 116 up until the 30th of June 2025.
Thank you, Director. The clarity is in, there was a section 116 report. The reason why the report is here is that the funding is not sufficient to carry until the 2025 year. So the current tender appointed is for the SPCA, and that's why we needed to be here for the extra funding. Councillor Morrison, you want to follow up?
That's correct, Madam Speaker. I would just like the Mayor to recuse his statement. That's the one thing. And the other thing, I just want to continue. Before I was interrupted by the Mayor. As a result, we find ourselves in a situation where the tender must be extended at an additional cost of 84,000 Rand for the next 6 months, as the Director has stated. The increase is a direct...
Councillor, let me help you here. Then this is exactly what the Director has explained and what the Mayor has said. This is not a new tender. The tender has already been extended. The funds is running that it is too low, and that's why the Director brought the report only so that you can correct the funding shortage. But the tender has already been awarded. The Mayor is correct. It's not it's not a new tender. It's not being extended. The tender was already extended. The Director is here with a report to request for extra funding, and he must follow this process, because only council can approve this process. If we don't do this, we won't have a service at the site that is desperately needed. Thank you. Director, you want to add again for more clarity? No? Okay. Councillor Morrison, if you want to know more, I'm sure the Director will see you at his chambers. He will explain, because it's a cumbersome administrative process. And previously, these kind of requests did not have to come to council, but the regulation changed. So now council must give permission before they can give more money on an awarded tender. Thank you. Follow up?
Yes, Madam Speaker. I'm referring to the extension. That's what I'm referring to in terms of the 84,000 Rand. I'm not saying that it's a tender process. I'm referring to the extension of the 84,000 Rand. Just for clarity, Madam Speaker.
It's not an extension, it's extra funding required
Exactly.
to honor the tender that was awarded. Am I right, Director Mbaliswana? Councillor, thank you. Director Mbaliswana?
I think, Speaker, we're saying the same thing but in different languages. It's correct to say the tender expired June 2024, and then council, before it expired, council extended it so that we can follow the supply chain process in terms of 116. Now we're coming here in terms of 1163, because now the amount that was approved by council was less, so we want to increase to honor the current tender.
Thank you, Director Mbaliswana. I'm sure that everybody understands it. Councillor Morrison, you still don't understand?
I do understand, Madam Speaker, but I would just like to make a point that we need to try and prevent these type of things from happening.
Councillor Morrison, in government, you can budget, but if you only get one tender and the amount is specific, then the law requires you that you must accept it and then realign your budget. That's why we will be here a lot of times, all the time, every time. Thank you. Can I have a proposal and a second? Councillor Jackson has already proposed. Thank you, Councillor Jackson. The Executive Deputy Mayor is seconding. Item unanimously adopted. Thank you. Then we at item 11. This is a draft annual report. Councillors, please note that this will now go out to public for comment, and you as council also have the duties and obligations to read through the report and send in your comments. The impact in the oversight, they must then draft a report as an oversight report that will be tabled in council in March. So they have their work cut out and we will take the lead from them, but you as a councillor must also peruse and give your input on the report. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Once again, I would like to proudly stand on my feet and say that the NCC would like to propose this item because we like to encourage public participation. And I'll say what we always reiterate, encourage the public to participate. You cannot not participate, but if something doesn't go the way you want it to go, you have a list of complaints and we back your funding. Remember, it is your opportunity to have a say. So let us all participate and encourage public participation. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The NCC has proposed. Councillor Williams, you second?
The Good Party second, Speaker.
Thank you. The Good Party has second. Thank you, councillors. The annual report, draft annual report has been tabled and proposed and accepted. It will now go out to public. Thank you. Councillor, so apologies. Did you wanted to say something on it? Apologies. Neem jou hand hoog of lig asseblief.
I'm going to be like very upset. You ignore me. Madam Speaker, I just had 2 questions on that item. Not if I, just questions. If I could understand something there. On the water losses, that's on page 114 of item 11. I wanted to understand the water losses as a whole. What is the biggest reason for the water losses? And then for the electrical losses, the kilowatt hours that are lost, that 48% kilowatt losses. I have a question on that. I would like to know just one small thing. What is the percentage of that losses with illegal connections? Is there nothing? So there's no percentage of illegal connections that has an effect on that, right? No. So then
yes. Councillor,
yes.
Wait,
yes.
wait
I'm
for
trying to figure out because I've seen the
clarity out. Where are you on which item you?
11.
No, Councillor, 11 is the annual report.
Yes, but I just had 2 questions on that report.
No. That's why you need to raise your
questions later.
When
in the public participation. Oh, thank you. Sorry, everybody.
Apologies, guys, when she's hot in the seats.
No, I'm not feeling like an
Councillors, allow me then we're at item 12/1. This is the performance management financial year assessment. You will note the report is in there, and then there is annexes, and remember this is now for noting because the actual report, when there is a monetary value added, it will only come back with when the annual report also comes back. Can I have a proposal and a secondment to adopt this for notification? Alderman Vaughan has raised a hand. Thank you. Councillor Paula Joseph has seconded. Thank you. Then at item 30. The mid-year budget performance, because it's a compliance item, it must be tabled together with this items. This is performance report of the top layer is the BIP. Any questions for clarity on this report from Quinton Jordan? Whose hand is up? Councillor Morrison.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want some clarity on the items under the table 35. It says top layer is the BIP. 2024-25, awards 4, 8, 12, 13, construct 440 top structures by June 25. Other one, there's a TL36, service to 20 sites in terms of housing plan by 30 June 25. TL32, create 3,082 jobs through EPWP 2023-24. Yeah, I would just like to have some clarity on this because I think maybe I'm a bit blind to understand it.
Councillor Morrison, thank you for the questions. This report is the monitoring of the man next to me and the directors. And you will see there's a point allocation and then there's a green, red, and pink. It's the municipal manager's fault that you haven't had your induction yet, not mine. Huh? Okay. But he will explain, but the most important thing is when it comes back with the annual report, the last report you should look at, because when it comes to the year, financial year end, there should be no rates anymore. So, but Emma, you can quickly explain also, thank you. Speak about yourself and how bad you govern this municipality.
Thank you. Speaking, we are at number 13.
Yes, number 13. It's a mid-year budget.
Basically, the mid-year budget which actually tells you where we are and how far we are behind or how far we are forward. We are planning to have an induction session with you, councillors, so that we can explain exactly all of these things. We know that we've thrown you in a deep side, but it's the beginning of the financial of the year, so we could not make that time as of yet. So basically all we're doing here is we're telling you, listen here, what do we plan? There's of course a lot of things that can fall that's in the way. For example, we've budgeted for housing. You've mentioned one of those top layers, but those might still need to be approved by the department, or they might still need to go through the supply chain process. Some of them are already there. We have some other issues where we've, for example, already appointed a contractor, then we had to fire the contractor because he did not do what he was supposed to do. So there's a lot of things that can fall, that can come in the way for us to sort of get to this point, but we still pitched up high. We said, no, we're not going to pitch low, we still pitched up high. So it's our hope and our wish to accomplish this by the end of the financial year, which is June 2025.
And council will hold him accountable. Councillor Morrison?
My concern is just that the cut-off date says June 25, and I haven't seen any houses that was built. There's 440 houses, I haven't seen any. Maybe I need glasses or contact lenses. Yeah. The other one is the server sites. The planning in terms of housing plan by the 30th of June. In terms of the allocation thereof, I think it is in Ward 3 in Saldanha, if I'm correct. The only concern is, and I need some clarity on this, if the money has been provisioned for, or must it still be provisioned for, and what happens if the municipality don't follow through on the plan? Does the funding go back to province, or where does the funding go back to, and then leave the people still without their housing? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Councillor Morrison. The municipal manager will, after the meeting, explain to you exactly, because this is the dashboard that we use to monitor our project. It's like I said, but I think you will better understand when you have in detail your induction, because yes, we might plan to build 440 houses and we might plan to have the server sites in place, but all the processes must still be followed. That's their plan. If the plan don't realize, this report will change. That's why it's a living document and they must update it monthly. Can I have a proposal and a second to note the report? Thank you, Councillor Alderman Vaughan and Alderman Kuhn. Thank you. Then I'm at item 14/1, and this is also a 116 that we have to follow in order to be compliant with the Hopefield transfer stations. Can I have a proposal and a secondment? Councillor Williams, section 33 report, sorry. Councillor Williams, proposal?
Yes, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Rissell?
Secondment, ma'am.
Thank you very much, councillors. The report is unanimously adopted. Councillors, then we add item 15/1. I had to bring the report so to officially then announce that Councillor Morrison will be replacing the vacancy that Councillor Pragom has left. The ANC has not yet arrived at the decision who will replace Councillor Lawani until the by-election, and then the DA has also submitted to me changes within the committee's representation that I will send to the officials. Councillor Kotze's hand was first up. Apologies, Councillor Costa.
No problem, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to bring it under the Council's attention. As the Portfolio Chair of Finance, I've mentioned it before, we had great difficulty from time to time for the non-attendees or attendance of some of the members, specifically a member of the ANC, that we've asked, although there's been an agreement or some discussion that they will replace the current member of that Finance Committee, we have difficulty in terms of quorums. And I would just like to urge you, because we discussed before, that they bring it to us as a matter of urgency that we can replace or make an amendment to that committee. Because we have great difficulty when we have these meetings and there's not a proper quorum due to that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Kotze. Councillor Kotze, the members that cannot attend, apologies must come to my office and then I will follow a process. It's unfortunate that sometimes life happens, so that's also in part of our duties. Councillor Rasool, will the Chief Whip indicate?
Yes. No, Speaker, we already resolved that issue. That
Okay.
since it was Councillor Mbani on the finance portfolio, she's going to be replaced by Councillor Rosso. That is going to serve on the finance portfolio. And also, we would like to make a request to also extend in portfolios where Councillor Liwani was serving, so that during this time that we have not had someone from Ward 1, that we have a representative in portfolios where he was serving currently. So I'm not sure if I can do it now.
Yes, you can name who will replace him, yes?
Alright, I already indicated that on
Finance.
finance, Councillor Mbane will be replaced by Councillor Rosso. On the petition committee that Councillor Liwani served in is going also to be replaced by Councillor Rosso. On the protection committee that he served in is going to be replaced by myself, Councillor Komani. And administration must make sure now that whenever they write to me, they scratch out Unkohla Zandile Komani.
We need that in a writing, Councillor. Okay.
Yes, and on the training and employment and local labor portfolios, both Councillor Rosso will serve, both on them. On Saldanha Police Forum, where Councillor Liwani was serving, Councillor Gerald Cleophas will serve in there. Also, since Councillor Liwani was the secundi on the Water and Sanitation Salga Working Committee, is going to be replaced by Councillor Mbani. Thank you, Speaker.
Because administration, have you got that? Okay, thank you. Will the DA send me the email to the nominations and replacements? Thank you. Councillor Morrison?
Just for clarity, Madam Speaker, I forwarded a request through to you. I just wanted to know if you took it under consideration.
Councillor Rasool, it was considered and the instruction was that it stays as it is. You will serve on that, but Councillor, our portfolio committees is open to everybody because you're the chief of the PA also, where we can have input, but you don't have voting rights. And because we're transparent, you can attend. You will also be placed in the Salga working group that Councillor Vragom has been the representative of council. So the executive mayor has also requested myself that councillors that is a representative of council to Salga also ensure, because it will be included in the next round of portfolios in the other half of the year, that the councillors as a representative must also give a short 1 minute or 2 minute feedback on the workings of the group that they represent council on. Thank you. Councillor Kotze?
Madam Speaker, I just want two things. The one is, and I support the mayor in terms of giving feedback, but I want to extend that to all committees that council has representation on. Because even so often councillors attend committees out there representing us, with the council having absolutely no feedback on that via administration or whatsoever. So it leaves us in the dark. I want to extend this to all committees that we have, outside committees, that we can give feedback. And then the second point is, maybe I missed it, the representation that we discussed on the Saldanha Water Quality Trust Forum.
Yes, we will send an email to the administration.
Okay. I just missed it.
Thank
My
you.
apologies. Thank you.
In writing. Thank you. Administration, please note that the representation for changes that they have proposed will be in writing to the administration by 5 p.m. today. Thank you. Councillors, thank you. Then we will now, this has concluded the white agenda. We will go now over to the yellow agenda. Can the gallery please be cleared? The live stream can also now end. Thank you. Thank you to the visitors and to count the people in the gallery and also the community at large watching the stream. Can